There's nothing quite like a drone shot. For me, since I shoot alone, well, it's a free extra tripod, baby. But the problem is, when you try and set up a drone shot, you end up taking a huge backpack with a remote controller and not being in the moment. Try fiddling with smart features that just make your life more difficult. It ends up looking like this. It acts basically as...
Visual positioning, failure unable to return automatically. Pay attention to...
It's moving away.
This is the Hover Air X1, a smart drone that you can fit in your pocket and, in theory, use without any experience.
Please download Hover X1 app.
So far it's not been very successful. I'm not able to have it go over the water or control it manually. But this is being shot on the DJI Neo, and I just got the chance to try the new Hover Air X1 Pro. Let me get to the top of the hill, and I'll talk about it some more.
My personal problem with the original Air X1 was its key selling point, the fact that it's a smart drone that doesn't need a controller. The smart features weren't good enough for me to trust it. You can now get a remote control on the X1 Pro, but the issues with smart tracking still remain, something that I've found with every single smart drone that I've used, including the Neo.
Not to work for me.
Now the back actually have sensors. If you're taking the video backwards, if there's any obstacle, you'll hit directly. But now with this sensor, you actually stop immediately. You will not hit the wall.
God damn it! I'm feeling very nervous that it would crash into the tree, but the Hover Air X1 would automatically stop and be able to, well, make sure that it doesn't crash into anything.
My original X1 didn't live past its first day out shooting.
So obviously it fell into the water, so I'm gonna need to wash it off.
It decided to land as soon as it went over the sea, which is a bit frustrating.
It's painful.
The X1 was not meant to fly over water, unlike the new X1 Pro, so that's on me. But given my luck with smart drones, I'd kind of been put off by Hover and smart drones in general.
All right, so this was a test of a DJI Neo, and it's performing pretty well. It's a bit of a windy day, so this is a perfect stress test. You can see the drone is moving along as soon as the wind comes, and it's being really buffeted by it. So it's supposed to only have 7 or 8 kilometers per hour of wind resistance. It's doing well. It's one of the things that's supposedly better on the Hover Air X1 Pro.
The previous days was a Type 4 wind resistance, now is a Type 5, so it's one level higher.
The video quality on both of these drones is fine, though I probably wouldn't use either of these on any professional shoot that I'm doing.
So, what did I end up thinking about the Hover Air X1 Pro that I got to try out? Well, I quite liked it. Compared to the Hover Air X1 that I ended up crashing last time because I flew it like a regular drone, it now has a controller if you buy the Fly Market. And not only that, but it's got some advantages over the DJI Neo that are not priced. So it boasts a higher wind resistance. It's actually more foldable, even though like this one in general is smaller. The Hover Air X1 folds out, so you can probably fit it in places where this one wouldn't go. And although I'm reluctant to trust the automatic flying features, a lot of people do. I'm quite happy with the DJI Neo, and so have my colleagues. My boss has taken to using it as his main drone when he goes out on hikes. And apart from the restriction on how much wind you're able to take, I think that's the main issue with these ones. You don't need to get registered, you need to be less careful, because as you can see, this one has, well, lots of marks of grass where it was crashed and stuff like that. If this falls on my head, I'd not be happy, but I'd also not be hurt, which is not what I could say about my original drones. Now we're kind of done with the advantages of the Hover Air X1 Pro, and we get on to the advantage of the DJI Neo, the price. At, well, $200 without a remote controller, this is an absolute bargain. And unfortunately, the Hover Air X1 Pro doesn't have the distribution advantage that DJI has. So the X1 Pro costs, well, $200 US more or so. And it gets even worse if you try and price in the Fly Markets and the remote controllers. It's hard to compete with price, and it's especially hard to compete with DJI, as basically every other drone manufacturer has found out. But if, like me, you've been avoiding these tiny drones because of the feeling that you know, it's kind of unreliable, you have to use an app, you can't actually use a remote controller. Well, I think that's changed with not only the DJI Neo, but also the Hover Air X1 Pro. I wouldn't trust the Hover Air X1 again, and I really need to be able to have that security of I can use a remote controller to get those stable shots that I want. But apart from that, I'm happy that there's competitors to DJI, because otherwise, well, there'd be nothing to talk about. But here, I need to finish my run. Until next time, I guess you'll just have to follow this channel and
Take off. Low battery. Drone.
well, that kind of ruins my shot now. I'm pissed. Okay, well, guess you'll just have to take care of it.